Welcome to City Church's On Demand Messages. My name is Josh, and we're so glad you're tuning in whenever and wherever you're tuning in from. In fact, if it's your first time, we'd love to connect with you. You can text NEW to the number on the screen right now. We've got a free gift for you. Also, if you need prayer, we would love to pray with you. We believe that prayer is not our last resort, but it is our first response to what is going on in our lives and the lives of those around us. And so we'd love to join in with you. And so you can text next to the number on the screen. Also, if you'd like to invest financially into the mission of City Church to be a Jesus movement that awakens the soul in the city, you can text next as well to the number on the screen. We believe every Sunday morning when we gather in person and online, and we open up God's Word, that He has something special and specific for every one of us. And so as we lean into this week's message that you're about to watch, we pray that God opens up your heart to whatever He has for you, and we hope that you are encouraged by today's message. Again, if we can do anything for you, please let us know.
7 days away. Everybody do this for me. Everybody take a deep breath, hold it, and let it out. Because we are 7 days away from Christmas. You know we're 7 days away because I'm wearing a shirt that has a dog on it, that has a Santa hat on it. Like, I don't normally wear this, guys. My 7-year-old saw this shirt. He loves dogs, and my wife was with him, and he's like, Dad's got to have that shirt. He's going to wear it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to wear it today. So here's my dog Christmas shirt, repping all the Christmas things and the good things, puppies and Christmas, just good stuff. My name is Warren, and one of the pastors here, and I'm so excited today that we have the opportunity this is our last Sunday here, but we got the opportunity to step into this part of our series called Simple Christmas. And I don't know about you, I don't know if there's been a point we've been in this series called Simple Christmas, and maybe you came on Sunday and you're like, yeah, Simple Christmas, let's do this. And then Monday comes and you're like, they should have named this Crazy Chaotic Christmas because my Christmas sure hasn't been simple. Maybe that's how you felt jumping into Sunday, jumping to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and you're like, man, I need to get back to Sunday because I got to figure out how this Simple Christmas stuff works. We've been just in this space of saying, listen, these two words, maybe they don't feel like they go together, but they can. And so Josh spent time in our first week, and he talked about Mary, and we learned that God wants to exchange your fear for His favor. And then Josh and Lauren last week, they were up here, and they talked about Joseph, and that some things maybe in our life as we move into a simple Christmas, maybe the best way to make it simple is that some things need to die in our lives this Christmas so that the best things can live. And so today we're going to talk about the shepherds. We're going to put a verse up on the screen, and we're going to break down a few words, and we're going to talk about how the shepherds can move us into simple Christmas. And so over the last few weeks, we've really had this awesome opportunity just to have middle school students on stage with us and to read our passage. And because we believe this, like our middle schoolers, our high school students, our elementary students, they're not the church of tomorrow, they're the church of right now. And so we wanted to say, hey, let's step into spaces where they get the opportunity just to step in and serve with us. And so I'm super excited that I get to invite the best middle schooler at City Church up, my son, to read for us. And Landon, come on up and read for us, bud. As we jump into the story of Christmas, he's going to read Luke chapter 2, verse 8 through 11, and it'll be on the screen.
And in the same region, there were shepherds out in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And an angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were filled with a great fear. And the angel said to them, Fear not, for behold, I bring you good news of great joy that will be for all the people. For unto you this day in the city of David a Savior is born, who is Christ the Lord.
Thanks, bud. Appreciate it. Let's give him a hand. And love you, buddy. Super proud of you. I'm not going to talk about you more because then I'll cry and we won't get anywhere. So I have to start as we enter this passage because I think it's only fair if you follow us on social media. I'm going to sneak over here like this. If you follow us on social media, I invited you all here today, and I told you there might be a sheep on stage, so I didn't want to disappoint you. And there is your sheep on stage. So some of you are like, I'm coming to church because there's going to be a sheep on stage. He's going to bat and all that stuff. Well, here's your sheep. So there you go. I didn't want to disappoint you this morning. But the question is why sheep? Why sheep? Because here's the thing. Today, we are going to talk about, Josh, catch a sheep, man. There we go. Today, we are going to talk about the shepherds. The shepherds, right? We've seen the nativity scenes, and we've seen how they're placed, and there's always different characters inside of the nativity scene, and one of those is the shepherds. And so Landon just read about this story where the angels appear to the shepherds and they make this announcement to Jesus. And where we find the shepherds is here. So we go back to that passage. We find the shepherds out in the field. Some of you dream of being out in the field. Right now you maybe wish that you were out in the field or the woods hunting. I don't know. But this is what the shepherds did. Like they were out in the field. They were at work, going about their normal day, their normal evening, taking care of their sheep. This was their normal routine. This is what they knew. This is what they did. Now, maybe this sounds familiar, right? Here we are at the end of the year. It's Christmas time. What have you been doing the last 11 months? What have you been doing as we look back the last 11 months? You've been out in the field. You've been out there doing your thing. You've been at work, you've been with kids, you've been with your husband or your wife, you've been with friends, you've been taking care of your things, you've been doing all these things the last 11 months. You've been out in the field doing your thing, doing your thing. That just sounds better. I don't know. Guys, my words today, you gotta love it. So here the shepherds are in the field, in the midst of just their daily routine, doing their thing. And listen to what they are doing out in the field, and they're keeping watch. Right? This is what shepherds do, right? Their sheep are out there. They're keeping watch. They're protecting them. They're making that none of the sheep go missing because they should, right? They take care of sheep. They're named after what they do. They're shepherds. Like, this is what they should be doing. They should be keeping watch out in the field, doing their thing. And so what's really unique about the word keeping and the word watch, these two words actually mean the exact same thing and carry the same meaning, and the word is guard. The word is guard. And so here they are out in the field watching their sheep, guarding, right, what is valuable to them. They're holding close, making sure nothing interrupts the value of their life, because everything on that field, their sheep, is what brings value to their life. It's what they hold closely. They guard it. They let nothing come to it. No person, no other animal, no curious sheep that would just go out. This has nothing to do with my message, but if you were a sheep, okay, I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm going here. If you were a sheep, how many of you would be that sheep just wanders off and does their own thing? Like, just be honest. Okay. So you would need a shepherd to reel you in and to get you back with the group. You're just out there doing your own thing, you know? So here we are. We have these shepherds out in the field keeping watch, and they're guarding what is important, right? Why wouldn't they? Like, this is their job. This is how they're defined. If you lose a sheep and you're a shepherd, it doesn't look good. Like, you're named after what you take care of. You are a shepherd. I can just see it now, right? Could you see it? Like, the shepherd's out there and he loses a sheep. What happens the next day? The talk of the town is, hey, did you guys hear about Carl? You guys hear about Carl the shepherd? He lost a sheep. He's a shepherd. How in the world? The poor guy can't even be a shepherd. He lost a sheep. Everything that he knew was being a shepherd. And so why would he not guard what was most important to him? Why would he not hold it close? Why would he not bring it near and watch over it, going about his day? Because it's what brought value to the life of a shepherd. You see, for the shepherd in this time in history, they were the lowest of the lows. Like, if you spent any time in history in this community, in the Jewish culture, the shepherds were actually considered the lowest of the lows. They were disregarded. They were looked down upon. They were considered dirty. I mean, they were out in the field, so I'm sure as they were chasing the sheep that ran off, you guys, that they're going to get a little murky, a little dirty, a little smelly. Every bit of what they valued was there in the field that night, and they sat there fully awake at night, and they kept watch over what brought value to their life. The sheep. They held it close, they guarded it, and kept it near. And so I want to ask you this question. What are you watching over? Here the shepherds are in the field doing their thing, keeping watch over their flock, keeping watch over their sheep by night, guarding it, holding it close. It's what's bringing value to their life. And so I ask you the same question today. What are you watching over? You say, Warren, what do you mean? What are you watching over? I mean, right now I'm watching you, so I don't know. What are you talking about? And so I think as we look into this story and we look at how Jesus enters the picture, we can all meet here in this moment and admit there's something we are staying awake, watching over it, guarding it because it defines our lives. Just like the shepherd is defined by the sheep, in this room we have different people and everyone is defined, their value is brought close by what they're watching over. And I think that sometimes we hold things so close that they define us, and we fear that if we don't have it or them, that if I'm not awake, watching, guarding over it, then I may lose the value of my life that I believe it brings to me. Others may see me differently, or maybe in this moment I may even look at myself differently. And so I'm going to watch over it. I'm going to guard it close. I'm going to keep it near. It might not be a sheep, but maybe today it's your marriage. Maybe it's your job. Maybe it's your finances. Maybe it's Christmas time. Let's be real. It's family. Maybe it's an addiction. Maybe it's gossip. Maybe it's social media. Maybe it's your kids. Maybe it's your spouse. Maybe it's your health. You define the value in your life by being a father. I'm a father. That's what I am. You define the value in your life by being, I've got enough in my bank account. This is who I am. I'm going to guard it. I define myself in my life by the likes I get on social media. And if I get enough, that's how I define myself. I define myself this way, and I'm not going to loosen it up. I'm going to guard it. I'm going to hold it close. Each of us have something in common. We're in the field, in the day-to-day, watching over, guarding that thing or that person that brings us value, because we fear that if we lose it, what else is there? If I lose it, then what else? Because if I'm a shepherd and I lose my sheep, then what else am I? I'm a shepherd who can't keep track of his sheep. If I'm a father and people find out that I'm not really the father that I say that I am, what are people going to define me as? If I'm a pastor and people find out, what value do I have anymore? It's funny, I think that I remember like a few months ago, Josh was like, hey, I'm thinking about this idea. I'm thinking about calling this series and using this word, simple, and Christmas together. I said, that sounds great, man. Wow. God must have really worked in your heart to bring that one together, to put simple and Christmas together. I remember talking to me, I'm thinking, man, that's such a great idea. And then I've sat through the last 2 Sundays and I'm like, dang, that was actually a bad idea because this really is speaking to my life right now. Because it just didn't seem like this was a possible thing. Like, I don't know about you, but I've been needed to reminded about who God is and who he sees me as. And Josh asked us the question in the beginning, are you more excited, right, about Christmas to come or the year to be over? And for me, I've got to be honest with you, Christmas approaching has been less about the excitement of Christmas and more about an end of a year. It's been less about, oh, Christmas Day is coming, and more about, okay, this year is finally about to be over. You see, this year my wife lost her brother, and we've watched as her mother has struggled with Alzheimer's, not losing her physically, but mentally and emotionally. So for me, Christmas has been about the end of the year. Can it just be over? It's been less about the who of Christmas and more about the who won't be at Christmas. And so I don't know about you, but as things start to dismantle and things start to just not feel so easy, I just began to watch over. I began to keep watch. And so through this year, I have to be truly honest with you and admit that as the year has come, I've moved into this, let me keep watch. Let me figure out how I can make things not happen anymore that just don't feel good. Let me figure out how I can make things better. Let me figure out how I can make things work, how they can look different. How can I do this? Let me figure it out. And so I guard and I watch over and I try to take control because I don't want the value of my life to be gone. Man, let me ask you this question again. What are you watching over? What are you holding close? What are you not letting go? Everything that I felt my life over the past year just kind of seemed to crumble down. And the shepherds here in our passage are honestly a little bit like I've felt. Man, what is coming that's going to be better? Like, there's got to be a better. Like, something has to exist to make things better. Sometimes it's a Reese's peanut butter cup, guys. Let's just be honest. You put it in the fridge and you eat it and you feel better for like 30 seconds. And then again, you eat another one and you feel better for like 30 seconds. And then if you sometimes you go back and get another one. And then by the time it's done, you feel terrible because you're like, man, I just ate 3 Reese's peanut butter cups. Like, we all are trying, right? We're reaching. And so we guard the things that we feel like bring us better. We hold them close, right? And for the shepherd, he guards his sheep, knowing that it brings value, that it brings better. At least if everybody else doesn't think I'm worthy, they think I'm the lowest low, at least they can still think that I'm a good shepherd. And so they want and they need and they expect better. You see, here's the thing about our shepherds. They were awaiting the promise of Jesus the Messiah. So here in this passage, we understand and we know that in this passage, these are Jewish shepherds, and so they would understand the promise of a Messiah, the promise of Jesus coming. So there they are waiting for the promise of Jesus the Messiah. It had been told in the past that Jesus would come at some point. They would have fully understand this, and even being over sheep who were used in the temple as sacrificial lambs. They would have fully understand the promise and the need of Jesus. They were shepherds in a Jewish culture where they were looked down upon, and so they're expecting better. And to top it all off, their nation was under Roman rule. And so everything seemed to be just upon them, this weight. And so why not, right? Do my job well, guard my sheep, hold them close. I'm a shepherd. I've got this. And I've got to be honest with you, that's been me this year. Let me hold things close. Let me guard things. Let me figure out how I can hold on to these things to make things better. And to be honest with you, it's led to a Christmas where I'm just like, can we just get to the end of this yet? Let's get to the end of 2022 and let's let 2023 begin. And then Josh, doggone it, Josh, I love you. He moved us into this simple Christmas. And last week he said sometimes the best thing for us is to let something die so better things could live. And then I began to study this passage and I began to understand. And I had some things I got to let die, but also I'm holding on to some things. I'm guarding some things that I'm placing value in my life with. And so here the shepherds are in the field, believing for something better as they hold on to all they could, keeping watch. And then it happens. The first announcement of Jesus' birth comes to the shepherds, and it's on the scene, and here they are. And it says this in Luke chapter 2, verse 9 through 11. And an angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were filled with great fear, right? I mean, let's be honest for a second. If you're the shepherds, and you're sitting in a field, you're watching your sheep, it's dark outside, and some angels show up, I'm going to be scared. Let's be real. And so he says that they were filled with great fear. And the angel said to them, I love it. He says, fear not. Fear not. For, behold, I bring you good news of great joy that will be for all the people. For unto you is born this day in the city of David the promise that you've been looking for, the hope that you've had, a Savior who is Christ the Lord. There's a few things in this passage that I just want to bring out for you that I think help us change and release the guarding, the keeping watch, and help us understand who Jesus is and how he sees us. Good news of great joy. How many of you have ever been asked this question? Would you like the bad news or the good news first? How about neither? Don't even bring that to the picture, right? Don't even tell me there's bad news. But how good would it be to be in a place and be like, hey, guess what? I got some good news of great joy. Like that changes. It's not just good news. It's good news of great joy. So the angels aren't just like, hey, fear not, for behold, I bring you some good news. No, good news of great joy. Good news of great joy. How many of you can say this morning? You are waiting on some good news. You're hoping for some good news, but not just good news, but good news that maybe has some great joy. I'm waiting for some good news, but not just some good news, Some good news of great joy. This sounds good, right? This news that they had been waiting on, the coming of the Messiah, Jesus. But I have to just think for a moment. The shepherds hear this. Good news of great joy. They hear this, and maybe for a moment they think, well, maybe for other people. Maybe angels, thank you for coming here and scaring the bejesus out of me. Thank you for showing up. But I don't know if this good news of great joy is for me. Because you don't understand how people see me. You don't understand how I see myself. You don't understand. I'm a shepherd. I got sheep, and I guard them close, and I'm good. That's what I hold tight. That's what I brings value to my life. And they have to be thinking, listen, everybody tells us that we're not worthy, that we're dirty, that we don't deserve. And so surely this good news of great joy is not for me. Surely this good news of great joy is not for me. But the angel says this, good news of great joy for all people. For all people. All people. I love this. The word all in this passage means every, any, all, the whole, everyone. And can I tell you something this morning? Guess who's included in the all? The shepherds. Guess who else is considered in the all? Every person in this room. Every single person in this room. You are every, any, all, the whole, everyone. You, me. The shepherds in the moment had to think, finally. Finally, I can be more than just a shepherd. It's for me. The good news is for me. And I know, because I've sat in your seat, I know what's going through the minds in here maybe. And I want you to listen. One of the greatest tools of the enemy is for him to make you think Jesus won't have anything to do with you. That if you released the things that you hold close and value and say, you know what, I'm more than this. Some of us are afraid that he's going to see us for who we really are. Can I tell you, he already knows. You have in your mind that you're not good enough. You have in your mind that you've done too much in the past or you've done too much recently, that you don't know anything about this church stuff, so surely. And you're afraid if you allow yourself to be valued by someone else, what happens to you and the things you hold close. And maybe the simple message of Christmas for you is that Jesus sees you different than you see yourself. And that Jesus sees you different than you see yourself. The shepherds in that moment, they're in the field, and this is who I am. This is all I'm about. I take care of sheep. I'm going to stick there. That's the value I have in life. You see, that day the angels appeared to the shepherds, but to the angels, they weren't shepherds. You see, to the angels, they were God's children, who he loved enough to send Jesus to be born and to give his life. You see, today I'm not defined as a husband and a father and a pastor who experienced loss. It might be part of my story, but man, I'm more than that. I'm Jesus' child. To the mother today that's doing all she can to be a mom, keep going, but rest easy because Jesus sees you as his. To the father today that is doing all he can to be a dad, you're more because Jesus sees you as his. To the hardworking man and woman today that is doing everything they can to find value in their job and their paycheck, know that you are more because Jesus sees you as his. To the husband and the wife is doing everything they can to find value in their marriage, you are more because Jesus sees you as his. To the person who's getting every bit of value from social media, whether it's the mindless searcher or the poster who's looking for likes, you are more than a like. Jesus sees you as his. To the person battling addiction today, you're not defined by your addiction. Jesus sees you as his. Here's the great thing. The good news of Jesus is for everyone. Man, the good news is for every person in this room. The good news is for the shepherd. The good news is for the father. Good news is for the mother. The good news is for the husband. The good news is for the wife. The good news is for the aunt and the uncle. The good news is for the worker and the employer. The good news is for the addict. The good news is for the lost. The good news is for every person in this room. And so maybe the simple message of Christmas that you need to know is that the best is here. And that the angels still are declaring to you and to me that they have good news of great joy for all people. And that the message of Christmas is not about how many gifts we can put under the tree, or how I can show up to my family's house and somehow not talk to that person. And the message of Christmas is that Jesus is for everyone. And so my question for you as a close today is the message of Jesus, this gift that he gives, is it for your community? And is it something that you need to take to your neighbor? Is it something that you need to take to your workplace? Is it for your family? Is it for you personally? Is it for me? As we close today, one of the things that we've strived towards as we've gone through Simple Christmas is that we want to know Jesus better on Christmas Day than we do right now. Man, I want to know him better. And so we figured what better way to do that than to join together as we get ready to head to Christmas Eve service, our Christmas at City Church on the 23rd, this Friday, then to all join in and head to a Bible plan together that moves us into knowing Jesus more. And so if you want to join us, all this is we send you a link after you text. We'll put it on the screen now. You can text SIMPLE to the number on the screen, and it's going to send you right back to a link, and we're going to do a Bible plan together. So that means all of us, anyone that signs up for this, we'll be able to join in together and move closer to Jesus through being in his word, even in conversation through the app. So this is an app that you can have on your phone. So once you get the link, it'll take you there in the App Store. It's called the YouVersion Bible.